Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Ignorant Bliss. I'm going to try to keep this intro short and sweet. This is another conversation with my friend Ronald Wimberly. We recorded this a little bit ago. We recorded this on my birthday in April. So this is like kind of early on in Corona land, in COVID-19 era. Take note when you listen to the conversations at that point. Editing is hard, especially with everything going on. This is pre uprisings and murders by the police. I still hope you enjoy the episode. Try to get some more out soon. Also recorded before these times. You can support this show by going to patreon.com Julian Lytle, Lytle. You can follow me on all social media at Julian Lytle, all over the place. The Twitter handle for Ignorant Bliss is IGBL Podcast. And the email for the show is ignorantblisspodcast@gmail.com. Send any message your way. Our way. I'm tripping. And it will help if you can put some reviews out there on Apple Podcasts. That still, I think, matters somewhat. You can also listen to this on many other types of ways you listen to podcasts, or just go directly to the site, ignorant-bliss.com. Thank you to all my patrons who do support the show now. And again, enjoy. Oh yeah, check out Ron's Gratinan on Line Webtoon. Updates every Saturday. Shinobi Saturdays. And you can find his work all over the place. He's pretty easy to find. He's doing big things. And with that, peace.
Hey. Ooh la la, wee wee. Ooh la la, wee wee. Hey. Ooh la la, wee wee. Hey. Ooh la la, wee wee. 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 Ooh la la. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Jump out of my bed like where the.
You see that? I hit you with
the balloons. The balloons. For a second, I thought you cut your hair again, and I saw now you got that joint braided back.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to put it up. How you doing, brother? Happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
Hey. You know?
I'm doing about the same, bro.
Yeah.
Still went to work like a fool. But you know what I do.
They got you out there. At least you got that check, bro. You know what I'm saying? In case you don't end up post money economy, you know what I mean? You at least have some ducats, you know?
Yeah, I'm good until, the government starts failing. The city government, that is.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we'll get that far, actually. They'll just let people die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. It's just a greater version of what they already do, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, man, that was very sad.
Yeah.
They should have took more vitamins.
Yep.
They should have bought this medicine that I invested in.
Oh my God. We kind of all knew that, but we were like, I can't be that obvious, right?
Like the first time I heard him say it, I was like, okay. Once I got 2 times, it's like, yo, he got money in this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
Very predictable.
Crazy predictable.
So what do you miss right now? Because you still go out, so.
Do I, like nah, I ain't really missing nothing. Like, other than, like, having the workload being too much. That's it. Like, that's the only bother. Like, I don't even really... I'm at a point where I don't even want to see people at work.
Wow, yeah.
Because they annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
So it goes.
Like, I'm good. It's interesting to see. Tomorrow I'm going to go help the unemployment office with some computer stuff because...
Wow. I know they need it.
Every unemployment office in the country needs it.
Yeah.
Yo, we up to like, what, 16 million people?
Yeah, man.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And that's what's weird is that if you just start doing the math in your head, you're like, huh. There's only about like 120 million people that probably actually work.
Yeah.
You got to count out kids and like old people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like the farmers can't get their usual migrant workforce.
Right.
So the food about to go bad.
Yeah, yeah.
People ain't even think about that. That's like a part I actually think about more than anything. I'm like, yo, I don't even know about getting sick, but like, I kind of like food.
Yeah. Yeah. Cities need food. The people in cities need food.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man? What you? A lot's been happening since the last time we talked on one of these. Like, you went to Europe before things went crazy.
I don't even know. Oh shit! Yeah. Like, that shit is just completely insignificant now. It's so unimportant.
Like, yo, it hadn't even been that long though. Like, it wasn't like this was like 6 months. This was like, what, maybe 2.5 max?
Yeah, I had just. It was such a short amount of time ago. When I got back, within a couple weeks, I thought maybe I had gotten this shit because I got sick when I got back. I was sick and yeah, that was in February.
You might have got it already. All these.
That's the thing they said is like niggas bringing it back here.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying now. Like, people was bringing it back here with them. And that's where our shit came from, not from China.
Yeah, so from Europe.
Yeah.
I was hearing something this morning, like a bulk of the cases in New York all came from Europe. Yeah. I was like, that makes sense. Like, yeah. I still think I had it in December, bro.
Yeah.
I had every single one of them symptoms.
Yeah, the breathing and all of that?
I had all that shit. Went to the doctor, got the extra medicines.
Wow. They didn't know what it was?
They didn't know what the hell it was, bro. They just here's some antibiotics. Here's some allergy medicine for your nose and sinuses. And take this off the counter.
But antibiotics shouldn't have worked though, right? Because it's not a...
They was guessing, bro.
Yeah.
Just take this until you're not supposed to take it no more.
Wow.
Take this, and hopefully you'll feel better.
Wow.
You really don't know how long this shit been around.
Yeah, what a time to be alive, man.
Oh. Yeah, man. This is wild.
Seen that thought bubble announcement. I'm like, man.
What, did they cancel it?
No.
Okay.
It's November, right?
Oh, they straight.
I'm wondering, would a backlash come by them?
Oh, like when it come back, wave 2?
Yeah.
Yo, who knows? Bro, San Diego ain't canceled yet.
Really?
And the way
that's
things are...
August?
No, it's July.
Okay, wow.
And the way things are looking like, they probably won't be hurt because Trump is talking about we should be up and running by then.
Yo, who's going to go to San Diego, bro?
Bro, folks is going to San Diego.
That's what I'm saying. Who, though? Like, the motherfucker that go, they wild, yo.
Yo, they pay me. They put me up, I go. I'm just not important enough.
Wow, bro. Nah, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let them have that.
I put a mask on. I'll be straight. I eat a cheeseburger.
Let me get the antibody test. You know what I mean? Let me see what's good.
That's what I want. People want the test. Like, nah, let me get the antibody test. Let me see if my theory holds true. If I had it or not.
Yeah.
Then I'll get the test.
Yeah.
Damn, it's been so... Yeah, I think we would talk about movies and other dumb shit. Now ain't no movies.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
It's like no movies to go see.
And if it's not animation, it's not production. You know what I mean? Which is like,
yeah,
what's that going to mean for like, you know, the next season or two?
Yeah,
it's about to be real slim.
Next year is about to be full of movies that are supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
And then if things clean up, it's going to be a bunch of rush projects for 2022 for stuff they couldn't shoot in 2020.
Yeah.
And cartoons might be king again. Movies might actually be in the theaters long again. Remember we go see Jurassic Park for like 4 months?
Yeah, man. Back in the day. That would be interesting. But like, are motherfuckers gonna go to the theaters? Let's see.
I don't know. The longer it goes, I think the less Americans will care. Like,
I'm wondering if like aftermath, right? If this is like good for theaters, meaning like the motherfuckers that stay open, like after a season 2 of this shit, niggas is gonna be like, yo, I'm going out to the movie. It's like, well, I've done Netflix to death. Like I've done all this streaming shit, bro. Like I'm done. Like let me go to an event. You know what I mean? Let me go out and sit next to people. You know what I mean? Fuck around. I'm tired. I need to get away from my family and my kids and all that shit. I need to, you know what I mean? Like I need to go out and be with some strangers.
Make the movies classy again like it was before we were born.
Yeah. You know, with the ushers and shit. You know what I mean?
Need to have that shit back with the news or something. Be like, ill, like instead of dumbass commercials, they need to have like something interesting before a movie.
Newsreel. Yeah. Man, that would be nice. Cartoons, little merry melodies.
Bring it back for real.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Man. But then they're gonna charge like $40 a movie ticket. But
yeah.
Then it'll be Broadway.
Yeah. Shit. It might already be on its way to that.
Yeah. People feel like you can afford to go to the movies. Like, yeah, you know. But really, I'm a movie critic, so I don't gotta pay anyway. But
it's crazy. Think about how much of a hustle theater still is. Like motherfuckers come from all over the world to come to Broadway and go to these fucking shows. And then it's like, it's funny because like if you expand Scorsese's critique of Marvel movies to like theater, then like that transition has already happened with Broadway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they're all sort of like rides. You know what I mean? Like it's less, fewer and fewer are like serious shows, right? That are, you know, like they're, you know, it's like, yeah, it's just spectacle. It's Disney shit.
You got to go to like find your local. If you're in a theater town, you might have a good theater scene, and then you might have like, where's your local Shakespearean troupe? You want to see like some deep Broadway shit. Yeah, like you gotta do a lot of work because you about to go see Beetlejuice on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that, I was like, why is that a musical? Like, this is what we doing? Tim Burton get the check though.
Yeah, exactly. Man,
you know, let me make a book out of like Usher songs or something. Give me a check.
Man, you playing though?
Yeah, you could make a mean theater, mean Broadway play out of Confessions.
You know. Yeah. Let me stop. There's a lot of implications there. A lot of implications.
Somebody go hear this joke, they be like, damn, that's a good idea that Julian got had.
Yeah.
5 years later. God damn it.
What happened to Usher? Didn't he get in trouble for passing around herpes or something? What happened with him?
I don't know. That was Cuba. That was Cuba Gooding Jr. I think Usher.
Okay. I thought Usher gave somebody some blisters.
Oh, I don't know, man. There's all that stuff on like on the Shade Room. Who knows? Who knows if that shit is true? This looked like a big girl or something.
Yeah, no. I remember that.
Yeah. I'm like, come on. It's Usher. If you felt like smashing, he felt like smashing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Put the music out. That's all I care about.
Stay out of his business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just need to put some good music out. I don't care. The rest of his personal life, I don't care.
Yeah, so what you been listening to, man? Like, I know you checked out your boy
That
Weekend.
Good Lord, that shit is beautifully depressing.
New Thundercat.
Yeah, that's a pretty good album too, man. He's really in that like that white, blue-eyed soul, late 70s, early 80s bag. Like the whole album sounds like some Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald.
It's like it all sounds like that one song from his last record.
Yeah. But the lyrics are so funny. Like
I was
smooth
dying.
and they're funny.
I mean, that's good songwriting, bro. Like it's a step up. You know what I mean? Like we need to move the level of songwriting up. You know what I mean? I think that's something The Weeknd is doing too. It's like, oh no, this is contemporary. It may sound like even The Weeknd's record sounds like almost, production methods a little bit throwback. You know what I mean?
Very 80s. It's very like synth heavy, mid 80s pop rock.
Yeah.
Little Tears for Fears or a little like all that stuff that back when they would play on everything and you would just hear all the music because it was sounding good.
Yeah. What's your late stage Human League? You know what I mean? Like late league. Yeah.
I was like, I'm hearing these chords. I'm like, okay, The Weeknd, like, yo, I could see myself in like a jacket driving in like an 84 Ferrari or some shit.
I Rock Z.
Yeah.
Little Thunderbird and shit.
Go. Miami Nights. Big hair and short skirts.
You know what I mean? Little pastel, open shirt. White blazer.
Joy is Miami Vice.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, The Weeknd, I see you.
No.
What else I listened to? I still need to listen to this Bad Bunny album.
Oh yeah.
I heard it was good. And it's like, man, how y'all got the time for this? New Run of Jewels song was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. I don't really fuck with them. But like
it samples that ooh la la lyric from DeWuck. From Greg Nice and Gangstar and Nice and Smooth and shit. The ooh la la out, that shit is funny. Yeah, like that shit is ill.
Yeah.
That new Lil Easy Vert album is trash though.
Oh, is it really?
Yo, it's trash. He got 2 albums on one album though. Like he put out a deluxe edition with like a whole extra album, and the second album is better, but the main album is trash. Like it's not for me. Like,
what about it,
bro? Like it feels like lazy. It's like, yo, this is still a Lil Uzi Vert from like when he was popping. But I find interested. Like,
he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the stuff he's been just sitting on or not. Like he had all this energy, like, oh man, this is cool. But then like I listened to it, it's just like I heard all this. Even if I didn't hear all this. It's like,
that's rough.
Like you lazy, man. I don't know, man. Maybe kids love it. But it's like I need something more.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, but I mean, are they even kids anymore? Like the people who listen to his music?
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, man. If they still like 24 or something, still a kid. They got into it when they was 20 or they was 16 or 18. And they in their early 20s now, yeah. They was in high school, but now they in their first couple years of college.
Yeah.
They still vibing what we talking about. Maybe some of the people that are older might not. I don't know how, like, they're into it. Like, people who are, like, now, like, 30, like, maybe they might not be into it. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It bored me.
Looks like.
That Doja Cat's still good though. I'm still listening to tracks off of that. She got the.
I'm listening to that. Man.
She got melodies, bro. The melodies be just taking over.
You, bro.
Huh?
Like a special tape, maybe for my birthday or something. You know what I mean?
Or what, like music? Like new music to listen to?
Ronald tape. Yeah, for Ronald tape. You know what I mean? Like you know me, man. Yeah. We know each other for a while, and like be like, oh, this motherfucker, like, especially the joints where you're like, I don't know, he might hate this or like it. Those are some of the best joints. Especially if I hate it and then I like it. You know what I mean? Like that's the best shit. Where I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. And I'm like, well, hold on. Well, you know what? And then before I know it, I'm rocking this shit. You know,
you gotta let the chorus in. The melodies.
Yeah, I fucks with that shit. That's my favorite. My favorite shit is just like, I don't know, and then just like 2-3 listenings later, I'm just like, yeah, actually, I like this. Then you throw it in there with the shit that you normally like, and it's just like, okay, it opens up a whole new way of seeing shit.
It pulls it all together. I like that Jay Electronica album because I haven't heard a rap album that has that much 5%er shit in it in a long time. Yeah, like
it's a throwback.
we've been in the age of like niggas talk about Jesus in their raps, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. All right, yeah. But yeah, with that,
the guys in the
you know what I'm saying? What's today's mathematics, nigga? I was like, this nigga started his album up with Farrakhan. I was like, oh.
My overlap with the 5% shit, I fucks with it just a little bit more because I feel like there are elements of it that kind of point to the illusion of religion in general. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of almost acknowledges religion as a political construct. You know, but I think for a lot of people, like maybe there's like another percent, you know what I mean? Like a 2%, where it's just like, okay, niggas who are in the 5% shit, but also the niggas, the 2% who just like, yeah, no, the religious shit is a construct. And this is a political way of like sort of freeing people's mind from the bondage of like this shit. Which is like, I feel like there's something, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's really interesting. Man, we had just such a crazy generation of the way Black folks was making music and how it related to their belief systems, and the whole Kanye going, you know, off. That's actually maybe a not very PC term, but like, yeah, going left a little bit, but not left, going right. And then, you know.
How many times can niggas call you crazy before you just decide to become the bad guy?
You think it's a decision? That motherfucker might have been off meds.
Bruh, he's been on and off meds and he's still with it. It's 3.5 years later.
Yeah. I think he's also a contrarian too, though. You know what I mean? Like,
he's just he's not a well-read, real research contrarian. So it should be fucked up. He'd be like, oh, but it's just like,
that nigga just really not a well-read motherfucker.
It's just like, who are the niggas that's talking to you, Kanye? Like nothing against T.I. I know he has a very large vocabulary, but
right.
Some of y'all niggas actually don't. Some of these niggas don't actually understand Kanye. I get Kanye. We knew Kanye's. If that nigga was in New York and went to art school with us, like we would have known Kanye. Like oh yeah. Like he's pretty.
It's new to a lot of people. Yeah. That vibe, that type of dude is new to a lot of people. It's not. If you went to art school in the late 90s, 2000s, probably well after that, you knew a Kanye. And it's crazy to see how the legs that it had. You know what I mean? He is a brilliant curator, though. I give him that.
Yeah, man.
He knows how to like, because how many motherfuckers that you went to school with who weren't able to like see the forest for the trees? Like they were too cool. Yeah, I mean, they were too cool for mass appeal. You know what I mean? Like that's the vast majority of motherfuckers, and that's what you call your favorite artist. You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers who inspire the motherfuckers who make a bunch of money off of it. You know? And Kanye is like,
he is like the ultimate person to like turn people's cutting edge ideas into great product or mass appeal.
When he says he's like Steve Jobs, he's right. Like people seem to forget, like, yo, Steve Jobs didn't make the computer. Like Steve Wozniak made the computer.
Yeah.
Like he sold the computer. He pushed the ideas of kind of like, it could be this, but if it looks like this is how we get it for people to use it. Or like, oh, Xerox, you're not using that? Yo, let's buy that. And we can flip this and turn it to this. It's like, even the smartphone existed.
Yeah.
And it's just like he hooked up with the ill designer, and it was just, he made it look better. Like
he understands people's desires, I would say, about Jobs.
He did.
I don't know if Kanye, I don't know if I would say he understands people's desires, but I think he happens to be a good and highly vocal intersection of people's desires. I think he definitely understood sort of like the pathos of a certain type of, millennial masculinity for sure. Like that motherfucker like sat on the lightning rod of a certain type of, millennial identity. You know what I mean? Like he understood it, bro. Like, and he embodied it. And it's like in the way niggas look at Jay-Z from our generation, like, when you see niggas who really into Jay-Z, when they're looking at him or like they're listening to him, it's just like he embodies enough. It's a type of cat, like a Jay-Z fan. Yeah. It's like he embodies, it's weird because they call it the, like the blueprint and all that shit. It's like he embodies a sort of platonic ideal of like what they would want to be. Like he's got the best shoes. He's got the like dopest, wifey. He like, he's kind of gangster, but he's also an artist. You know what I mean? Like he's all of these things. And he's like, he embodies it more than like a RZA or more than like, any of these other like Old Dirty Bastard or whatever. Like how many people could like really look at Old Dirty Bastard and be like, yo, I want to be like that guy. Not many. Right? Not many.
Jay-Z had a certain level of cool that and sophistication that other rappers at the time didn't have. And it was something when I was listening to a podcast with Chuck D, how he said like, because like he got on when he was 26, but the first album didn't come out when he was 30. So like Chuck D was a 30-year-old man putting out a piece of work. So when you listen to like It Takes a Nation of Millions, the reason why it's so transcendent and it's like about shit is that's a 30-year-old man. Like
he's grown.
He's literally
he done outlived most of the motherfuckers we look up to who died before they were even that age.
Like he's literally trying to put out ideas in the shit. Like he's taking, I forgot what book he said. He's like, it was like some like, important black book or whatever. And he's like trying to distill it down into like lyrics. I'm like, yeah, that's why your shit is different. And so like, when you listening to Jay-Z in 96, you've heard niggas rap about drugs before or selling drugs. Even when the whole thing with Nas, like Nas, when I listen to Illmatic, it's still a young man on the block.
Right.
Jay-Z, if Jay-Z is the middle, is he's not the kingpin. He's the guy that's like on the way to being the kingpin. Like
he's looking at a lot of shit in hindsight.
Yeah, like and like he's he's not young. Like he already got the dope whip. He done already had the girls. He done already took the L's.
Yeah.
So he's in a different place right now. So I'm like you listen to that album, it's just like, and then he's on there. He got the little video. It's in black and white. He got the suits. You got Dame smoking the cigars. It's like, damn, I want to grow up to be these niggas.
Yeah.
Like I just want to get this money. Like if I get this money, I can do a lot of things with it. And as he got older, like even between the hit songs and Money, Clothes, Hoes and all that, you would get some songs where it's like his regrets, what he wants to do. And then you be like, yeah, like shit, yeah, I want to, you know, if I work hard, I get my shit together, I plan this right, I get the money, I get me a Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Do this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I could buy this property. I could make this deal. I can, like, it's the no other rapper as a rapper has distilled down to like the postmodern Generation X black aspirational capitalist dream better than Jay-Z. No one. Like Puffy's not a rapper to me. Puffy is like a producer, businessman person. He's in a different lane.
He's another facet of this sort of deal, but not the MC facet of that.
Yeah,
idea.
like he's not like, I know these thoughts aren't coming out of his head, it's from somebody else and they're writing it for him. But like Jay-Z is like, yeah, man, this is it. Like this is like a more solemn, tactical Jay Gatsby, you know what I'm saying? If Puffy is Gatsby.
So what happens after Jay-Z? You know, like, I mean, because I feel like if Jay-Z is that, then like Kanye is that, and I hate, you know, like the overused expression, like on crack, right? Like somehow distilled to a level that it becomes a little bit like a funhouse mirror, right? Like the cracks start to show, you know what I mean? Like, and the high is higher, but also the drop off of it is like way higher. You know what I mean? Like, so if that's the case, then like, you know, like who, I guess we could even ask that question politically, right? Is like, who comes after Obama, right? Like a complete disillusion with this sort of like, you know, identitarian neoliberal sort of hero, you know? And what, like, where do we go after that? Like, do we find, you know, is it simply that it's disembodied completely? Like maybe the next level after that is that it isn't an individual. You know what I mean? Like I kind of feel some of that was already happening with pop music, with like a lot of these, you know, going back to like Daft Punk or like even like Doom or like people who are just like non-identities, right? Yeah. So that, and then it becomes more about a collective, like even physically, like if you think about Jay-Z is like behind an altar where it's like, still that energy is put on Jay-Z. But when you think about like a lot of the dance, what's like the EDM or whatever, it's like the DJ is there not as a deity, but like almost like a priest, right? Mm-hmm. Like controlling a space, you know, and it's about those people and it's about those events versus sort of like the spectacle of an individual, you know, and like, you know, what they are in terms like prophetic and somehow, you know, like it's not so much about them being prophetic, but it's about them creating a space where the people can get off, right? And like find that truth in that space, I guess, of being bodies and movement. It's interesting to think about because like I'm wondering like, yeah, like what's after Jay-Z? Think about like Atlanta and like the music that's happening now, and I'm not sure I actually have a handle on like what it means culturally as a progression, not in terms of like a moral arc, but more in terms of just in terms of time. Like, you know, that shit happened in the past, and like what's happening now, whether it's becoming more or less sophisticated or orderly or, you know, whatever, I'm not so invested in or curious about. But like, what does it mean? Like, what happens after? Like, what is happening right now? Like, what does it indicate? You know?
Well, I think for me, the thing with Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z shifted from being like a one type of figure into being like Frank Sinatra, right? Mm. So there was a point in which, if for people who know about Frank Sinatra, he was the skinny, young, blue-eyed guy who could sing them jazz songs, and he was in the movies and he could dance and the ladies love him. But that's not the Frank Sinatra we celebrate. The Frank Sinatra we celebrate is the Rat Pack Sinatra.
Yeah.
His jawline filled out. He got a little bit wider. He's way cooler. He's in middle age. He's with his homies. Yeah. Like, they're just doing amazing stuff. And then, he made those, when he came back, he made those great albums with Quincy Jones. Like, it completely shifted our ideas of what was going on then. And that's
he's also went from the guy who should be a bachelor to the guy who's too old to be a bachelor.
Yeah. Like, he's doing this too long.
And the trap.
And in a way, like, Jay-Z as a rapper, that's where it fits in. It's almost like, it's the fact that he's still so good and he can stay relevant is what's amazing. Because rappers shouldn't, it's not they shouldn't, it's just they usually don't.
It's like a young man's game.
A 50-year-old rapper is an amazing feat. Like a 50-year-old rapper that everyone listens to and like, the bars is crazy. Like,
pop culture is listening to.
Yeah.
Right? Like pop culture. Yeah.
Like, like the kids. Like the kids is like, he nice though. Like those rhymes, he still got it. They still care. He still matters. Kanye is an interesting thing because like he's that art movement. He's the change. He's the suburban kid making the grand spectacle. Like his goal was to make, I remember like graduation, he wanted to make stadium rap. He went on tour with I think like U2 or something. And he was like, he saw like what he wanted to do and then he made Graduation. And when you listen to Graduation, everything is so big sound. It's like this is good on like my headphones, but even in somebody's whip, but like in a stadium, bro, that shit is crazy. And I just think his own issues, other things, the public's reaction to some of his things that he did and how he was coping with like his own personal demons, it all leads to a certain thing. Like I remember when South Park did that
gay fish.
The gay fish thing, because like it was right when 808s was about to come out and he was getting his fashion thing, and then you find out like he was actually interning for some houses at that time, and they was looking kind of different, and then like people laughed about it then, but now I guess you would call it, it's toxic masculinity, because it's like you would say like, oh, he's gay because he has on a PB Herman suit and a shag haircut. Like, bro, like New Edition all had that haircut in '83, so it's like,
wait, is that what they were saying about him?
Yo, fam, yeah, you wasn't online. That shit was crazy. And essentially that's the gist of like the episode. And I guess when you make episodes that quickly, some of the fruit is low hanging. It can still be funny. I never really liked that episode, but between that, all the stuff with Taylor Swift, the online shit he caught from that, the backlash to 808s of Heartbreak makes him make other things, and then he kind of even goes a little bit more hyper masculine with things on like Watch the Throne and Cruel Summer. And you get all of this, but I think that's an important moment, because if he don't make 808s of Heartbreak, we don't get Drake, and we don't get Donald Glover as a rapper. And I think those two, Tyler the Creator and Kendrick Lamar, are what we kind of see with right now with like the old Zier and like the middle to late millennial on what their identity and what they kind of want to be. Because even if you look at something like Kendrick come from the Black Hippies and Top Dog Entertainment. It's a more, he's the head of the crew. Well, he's not even the head of the crew. It's like the X-Men. He's Cyclops, but like Top Dog is the whole thing. Like TDE. Like we care about SZA too. We care about Schoolboy Q too. Like then you get to like Tyler. Q's my man. Q's my nigga. You got Absol, you got Brent Fires. You got all these people putting out this great work. And then you get to like somebody like Tyler and they with his kids. Like our Future was the shit. And they may not be together now because, you know, they grew up. But they all doing all this crazy stuff.
They old now.
Yeah, like they're not even.
Bruh. I'm like, bruh, like I remember when they was fucking
children,
kids. Like when they came out, I'm like, who are these young niggas? You know what I mean? Like, bro, like now they're kind of like elder statesmen of hip hop. Like they're official, right?
Yeah,
they're made, right? Well, not all of them, really, because it's interesting how those squads turned out, like ASAP Mob.
ASAP and them, but it didn't go back right. With the popular ideas, like I don't even know if it's an idea, but it's like there's two. So it's like, okay, you have the two different tops. It's like the warring identities. You have the Drake and you have the Kendrick. But then I do think like, you know, I thought Donald Glover wasn't that good of a rapper. He wasn't. If you go listen to the old mixtapes, he got better over time.
Well, neither was Kanye. Like that's the Kanye method.
Yeah, like Kanye wasn't that good. But then Donald got better, and then he got even more experimental. And then you find out, like, he has a master's degree in writing from you know, NYU, and he wrote 30 Rock, he wrote Tracy Morgan stuff, all the stuff people love. Like he did all these things, and then like he can make these albums and jump into these things and put this visualization in his work. And I don't know, because this might be off point, but I don't know if currently in music where they know where to go, because streaming has destabilized things so much that they don't know if they should make a body of work or if they need to worry about the streams to make a living. So do I make a 2-minute song that I can get X amount of streams in per hour to make more money? Or do I make a better body of work? Or do I make 30 tracks instead of like 10 strong tracks? It's like, I think the last year, I don't know rap wise what it wants to be. And this is, yeah, that's it. Like the same, I guess, with R&B. I don't think male R&B is in a good place at all. Women R&B is an amazing place. Because they're taking everything from rap and like recontextualizing and flipping it in different ways that is amazing.
This is interesting to me because like just of how like what capitalism does to time. You know what I mean? Like your ability to use it really as an artist, right? So the sort of conundrum that it hands you, right? Like when you start to get enough bread to like really have a quality of life as an artist, the motivation for how you use your time starts to change. It's like when you have nothing but time, when like all of the value is time, like you have time and like you just struggling to keep your stomach full. It's like creativity is like you're really extracting that value from the time because you're like, okay, well, shit, my stomach is full. I might as well work on these fucking rhymes. Might as well work on these drawings. Might as well work on this comic. All right, so then somebody's like, we like that shit that you did. We're going to give you some bread. We want some more for it. Then it's just like, okay, so your time, all of the value of your time goes like way up. But also, you have enough money to fucking eat. You know what I mean? Like your whole value structure around like what producing art might change if you're not careful. You know what I mean? And like, I think it's interesting to think about like for musicians, probably for us as well, like filmmakers, whomever, like how do you, in an era of streaming, like how does that affect the way that people approach even the form of what they're making? Particularly for a lot of motherfuckers, like where making the art was an economic pursuit to begin with. You know what I mean? Like not something that was getting in the way from them doing whatever, you know. And also, yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of like trite, but like being black, there is like, you gotta, either you sling and crack rocks or you got a wicked jump shot, like that whole, you know. Well, also, are you some sort of an entertainer? You know what I mean? Like, do you have some sort of a
amazing
spectacular value? Yeah. To get you to this place outside, you know, like, and I think it's as much a lure. The lure is as much about
escaping whatever economic position you're in, it's as much or more escaping like your ontological position. So meaning like with Kanye, that's another thing we talk about. I think this motherfucker, at least to me, it looked like he was struggling with the notion of, I've done these amazing things. I am literally the greatest, greatest in terms of like, we can set the parameters around like what that means. But like it's arguable given a large swath of different ways of quantifying it. Greatest artist, performing artist for sure, within a certain time period, right? However, you don't escape being like a black guy. Like ontologically, you haven't escaped. You haven't. This level of exceptionalism hasn't allowed you to achieve escape velocity from your from the way the world sees you. And that's like that's the OJ shit too, right? It's like, nah, bro, like you can be this great, amazing thing, but like you'll never escape that. And I think that can the subject to make people go crazy. I'm sorry, I went off the edge a little bit. We were talking about something else.
No. Like I think that's a point that should be made, especially in regards to like having these conversations that I've had, old Kanye versus, quote unquote new Kanye. And I'm like, there's four different eras of Kanye within his career the last 15 years. Like, you can't just sum him up as like, oh yeah, first 2-3 albums and then like that was great. Then after that, I don't know. Like, nah, fam. I remember like when he did the shit with Taylor Swift, and he made lines about it. Like he got called nigger so much online, something. And if you looked at it, like, yo, people acting like all this online stuff is new. That trolling stuff on message boards was rough. And that's back when he had a website. That's back when he had a blog. That's back when he had a Twitter. Like, and it essentially at the time, like, and then I still think the whole thing with some of the thing with Trump is the fact that like, and other people have said this, Obama called him a jackass, and essentially didn't want to have anything to do with him. And he was from Chicago, and Obama's from Chicago.
Yeah, that's rough.
And those are two of the most visible black Chicago people in the country at the height of American like culture and visibility and importance within like the American idea at the moment of those years.
Like you're the president version. You're to like American politics what I was to like American music. Like shit, we should be fucking cool, right?
And essentially what he was doing, no matter how much of an ass he was, even though he drank like half of that huge bottle of Hennessy, and I don't care what nobody say, y'all niggas act dumb as shit off Hennessy after a certain amount. Ain't none of y'all niggas acting right as a sober person. Yeah. Him going up and basically telling like the establishment of arts that yo, this Taylor Swift shit is forgettable. And my homegirl Beyonce shit is amazing.
Nobody disagreed with him though.
Before that shit was cool. Like before that shit was like all this shit comes from Beyonce. Like that was not happening back then. It just wasn't. And it's like the backlash he got from white people, I think greatly affected him. I think everything before that with 808s affected him because he did something different. And he comes back with this album, and I love My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's a great album, but for people to say like, yo, this is the greatest album, like you should only do this shit. And I think like that affects him. Like after time.
That shit, bro.
Like it's that affects him. And to have like, and I don't think people really get this, to get to these certain heights. And then like you basically make a shoe with Nike and it actually is outselling all the other new shoes, except for old Jordan from the 80s. And they're like, nah, we ain't gonna give you more money and no points off this shit because you're not an athlete. It's like, bro, he clearly designed the best shoe. More people want this shoe. I think these certain things are no. And that shit with Obama kind of broke him a little bit where he's just like, he went even more a contrarian than what he was. And the more different shit happened to him, the more it got worse. And then like his mental issue, like the bipolar thing, all that, I think all that stuff keeps compounding on it. And he reacts weirdly. And people don't know how to deal with it. And at a certain point, I don't really even give a fuck. Because the work is still good. And then we hold people to weird I like he hasn't done a crime yet. Like I've seen more people cape for Chris Brown, and that always gonna bother me. I see more people cape for Chris Brown or even a Kodak Black more than they have.
Meaning by crime, you mean like something
like a legitimate when you hurt people.
Like, whether or not it's a crime, like something hurt somebody. Like you literally did something violent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
legitimate harm of another person or people in society.
I'm trying to like,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to see if this, you know what I mean, like how it fits. I got this like on one size too small before, and like now I'm also thinking around the collar though. You know what I mean? Like around the collar, you want to like a good fit around the collar. I think this might be, bro. This is gonna be a shirt. I'm gonna have this shirt for a long time. Shout out to Okayama Denim in Japan. Got my birthday shirt.
That sounds fancy.
That's why I be getting my jeans there sometimes. Like,
Japanese denim. Remember that was a thing, bro? Like, do you remember?
Yes. I'm an old man now. That's why.
Like
nobody wears jeans anymore. Like it's sweats. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I'm on my cowboy shit. B. Like, mark my word. 2021. I'm on my cowboy shit. Not Western shit. Like I'm on. I'm rocking just like fuck this shit, man. Like
Johnny Cash shit.
Johnny Cash, just like good materials that like I told my friend the other day. Is like, yeah, if the shit goes down, they're just gonna find me with my bug out bag, and they'll be like, yo, these clothes are dope though. It'll just be my skeleton. Like these clothes just look, let me just get these clothes. Like the body is completely deteriorated. But the clothes are fresh. These jeans fit.
They still good.
Still good.
Yeah. You just call it a cold like, wash. They'll be straight.
Like 2 years. The clothes are still functioning. Just trying to like patch my own shit, bro. Like I've been trying to patch this jacket, bro. Like it's not easy, man. Like let me tell you.
That fashion shit is hard, man. I don't even think I remember how to sew. I used to know how. Yeah. I used to know how to sew on a sewing machine.
Oh, nice.
Like
my granny used to have one of those like Singer joints back in the day with the pedal.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was dope.
Hand sew, and then like my grandfather was a shoe repairman, so I used to know how to use the old shit, the old like cast iron sewing machine with the wheel.
Yeah,
like I used to know how to use that shit too, but I forgot that shit.
Yeah, like that's what my granny had an old Singer song.
Okay,
yeah, like you this has a pedal. Like you would pedal, and then that's like what makes the like
I used to know how to do that shit. I also think back sometimes it's like when I didn't have no job or nothing. Like even then, like I didn't like my grandfather died when I was in like my senior year, so it's like I couldn't learn anything because I was still in school. But I always talk about like, man, maybe I should just learn how to do that shit. And then I could have like gotten to the shoe game way earlier. Instead of fucking around with these goddamn comic books.
So comics, right? Because like I'm gonna get off the phone and eat some fish soon, man. Like I got some striped bass came in, like they bring it to the door, you know what I mean? Like,
see, you doing all right in the quarantine.
Bro, I mean, like that's what's the fucked up irony is just like. Like first of all, up until like a year or two ago, constant like scrambling and struggling, right?
I know.
Mainly because I didn't have I never really had a regular job like since getting out of college, like mostly for whatever reason, either lack of skill or lack of time, focused on doing the design and illustration and shit.
Nah, man, you had the skill in comics, and that's what you focused on. And people were able to, even though you struggled, you were able to make a way so you can make great works that people can respect it to get up to the point where you can not really be broke no more.
Well, so, yes, all right. So, and here I am the last couple of years. And then this shit hits. And, like, you know, I've always kind of been like, this is kind of politically, well, I don't even want to say politically, but like a way of life. Some wild shit could happen right now. Like, I was listening to, I think it was NPR Politics or something, or one of these podcasts that they do. And somebody was like, well, if we don't pay our landlords, then our landlords can't do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, it's crazy because y'all are starting to ask really radical questions just off the strength of like practical needs. Like, you're asking questions that, like, if I had posed these questions to you like 3 months ago, you'd be like, man, get out of here. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, people are having to think economically all of a sudden, like materially, not economically, materially, right? They're having to think about like, okay, so, well, what if I don't pay my landlord? Then they can't do whatever. And then before long, you're thinking about like, well, what do we need in terms of work for society to work? It's like what you were saying at the top of the conversation, talking about farmers and shit. It's like, okay, well, we need them niggas, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's some essential labor that we need, right? Like, so you start to think about these things like that. And all of a sudden you start, well, okay, so, all right, well, we get a stimulus. All right, so if I get a stimulus, but they don't do a moratorium on rent, then like literally isn't that stimulus just a stimulus for landlords?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, and then like, okay, so, and what labor does it constitute that a landlord does? Not contractors, not building managers, not sheet metal workers, not masonry people, but like literally just people who maybe their parents own your building. And now, you know,
well, I think that's the thing too. Like, there's the city idea of a landlord. Like, and I'm not to knock it, but yeah, like I was watching the PBS NewsHour and it was having these conversations with like these people like I have all these buildings and I was like, I was like, it's a part of me is just like I can give a fuck about y'all, but I do know about the people that I know. It's like, oh, you bought a house, or well, yeah, you bought a house, you got an opportunity to get a job in another state, and you don't want to get rid of the house because you might move back, so you rent the house out. You still got a mortgage because your ass is only 33 years old.
Yeah.
But you need the rent money to pay the mortgage because you still got to pay rent wherever the fuck you at. And it's like, that's what I think, but these are real questions that I think we've been talking about.
Yeah.
At least since like we got out of school.
Yeah.
Like we would talk about property and like owning a house versus not owning a house.
It's New York, bro. It's New York and you're broke. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And coming around to the idea of work is just some of this whole problem is just like, yo, these are just jobs white people won't do for white people, and white people know it. Because if you shouldn't be, put it like this, there shouldn't be an unemployed crisis when farmers need people to pick crops.
Yeah. Yeah.
But y'all want too much money.
How about this? I don't know if you remember this, but like last year when they were talking about like the white working class, and they were talking about like, well, one of the reasons why the white working class is struggling is because white men won't do nursing or teaching jobs.
Yeah.
So niggas who lost their jobs working in factories because of like their manly man shit, beer drinking shit, they can't even have the title of nurse. You know what I mean? Like they can't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a teacher, whatever. Good fucking child, bro. Like everybody needs to learn. You know what I mean? Like, and right now, I mean, bro, you wanna talk about going to Iraq or whatever the fuck. It's like, bro, work at a fucking hospital right now, bro. Like, that's real shit. Like, real talk.
Yeah.
That's some real brave shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's some real community service shit right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's putting your life on the line. And like seeing some shit that honestly is devastating. That you can't shoot a fucking virus. You know what I mean? Like, that shit to me blows my mind right now. And I'm not it's not like that whole heroic making, you know, these workers heroic.
You're
because,
heroes. I'm going to clap for you when you might get off after working a 24-hour shift. Like,
right.
Nothing against it. Like, and I almost think it's like Americans got guilted into it because they would see the Europeans do it. And I just think it was just more honest when you saw it from European cities. Like, like we are all dying right now. Because they got state-run healthcare. So it's like, yes, we really do need you. Like, here it's just like.
This is why we've been paying taxes and like doing all this shit so everybody can have this shit right now. Yeah. Like, there's not that sort of unified. Man, it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see. Like, I seen a meme on somebody's page today about like face masks, and it was kind of coming from like a, you know, well, how black people suffer from being seen with the masks on because they're not showing their face or whatever. And it was essentially like, I'm doing this to protect myself because like this, that, and the third. It's like, actually, the weird thing is like, okay, so it is a problem that if you hide your face and you black or brown or whatever, like, yeah, you're going to get people, you know, race does come into that. But the wild thing is like, you're not covering your face to protect yourself. Covering your face to protect other people. And it's like, it's not even a thing that we understand here in this country. It's crazy. And I'm not like trying to, you know, be on the dick of like East Asia or anything, but there's a difference, man. Like, it's subtle. It's not genetic. You know, I don't know how cultural it is. I don't know if it's something that is eroded by other things in our culture that are maybe different than other cultures. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't even know if it's like the root of it. Because like growing up, we heard all that shit. I don't know if you went to Bible school or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you heard all of this shit about do unto others and like all of this shit. Mm-hmm. You would think that it's like somehow embedded in our society as well.
It's not.
But like, nah, I don't know.
Neoliberalism, yo. And to you, the buzzword that people might listen to this and be like, everybody blames neoliberalism, but there was a dramatic shift at a certain point where there was things in which people did as a community that no longer was done. Like the idea that people was able to leave their doors unlocked and open in poor communities is foreign to me.
Yeah.
But it was possible. Black, white, whatever. Even if black and white couldn't mix and go around each other, there's things that changed in this country of a serious push into the way capitalism works that changed how this country acts, like in its center, in its core. And I don't think we can reverse it. Like, unless we got to change and nobody wants, I shouldn't say nobody wants. People of certain ages don't refuse to accept new realities. And I don't know. I think I read somebody posted something on Facebook about that people didn't like about Bernie, that no one liked being yelled at. And I ended up replying, it's like, you need to accept being yelled at before you get those hands put on you. Because I don't think people really understand, like, if things keep going on to this point, ain't gonna be no more talking.
It's about to get violent. Bro, like, that's what I said in 2016.
Yeah.
I was like, look, we're reaching a point where discussion is about to go out the fucking window. And like, that's kind of like the weird sort of liberal discourse right now around voting. It's like, well, we need to come together and vote for this fucking guy who's like, you know, barely cognizant and also possibly, you know, some sort of a weird groper, you know, like maybe sexual assaulter, you know what I mean? Like, which is like something he did. He didn't come clean off of it. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be something else if it was like, oh, this is some shit that happened. And, you know, like, but like, nah.
He's not even recognizing that shit. He's not even
recognizing this shit. And like, so essentially, you're asking me, like, truth be told, at this point, I'll probably vote for that nigga. Not because, like, actually, you know, like, and it's difficult because it's like, at what point do I let, like, how do I let these motherfuckers know that it's not okay what they're doing in this two-party system? Even if I don't believe in the party politics, how do I let them know that I don't believe in it and I don't believe in what they're doing aside from abstinence, you know? But at the same time, I'm balancing like, well, you know, pick your adversary, right? Like, do I want to pick a fucking SNK level villain, or do I want to pick Street Fighter 2 Championship and Bison? I know how to beat Bison, right? Like, I probably beat him. You know what I mean? The SNK boss, though, I don't even know. He might have some moves I'm not even ready for yet.
You haven't got to the second round yet where he switches up,
right? Yeah, he might transform. This is what I'm saying. We're like in the second round right now, bro. Like, we don't know what the fuck might happen. But at the same time, it's like, the admission would be that we've passed the point, like we're in the direct action moment. I don't think we're in the party political moment anymore. I think party political tactics are just that. They are tactics to maybe mitigate what you're going to end up facing in the street. Because at this point, bro, like, unless the one thing that could possibly happen is if this motherfucker pulls a Roosevelt where he completely adopts the other platform, essentially, right, to forestall a full-blown socialist revolution, which is essentially what Roosevelt did. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to do all of this shit so that shit doesn't completely flip over, right? Yeah. Because, like, it already happened. It happened in Russia. You know, like, it's happening in China. You know what I mean? Like, let me do this here so it doesn't happen here, right? If this motherfucker doesn't do some shit like that, then, like, bro, like, we had a good run. And, like, we're about to see what the fuck is going to go down. And, like, because the only other thing is fascism. And, like, I remember when Trump started to run and motherfuckers would say fascist this, fascist that. And you're like, oh, is that, you know, hyperbole? Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Here we are. And the body count is going up.
Yeah, it's I always go back thinking about like how they used to talk about the murders in the cities in the crack era. And it's like, you know, years like we got 285 murders this year. Like, oh man, you know, people was like, I can't go outside in the city. And if you think about, oh, you got a city of millions, you worried about not to disregard like losing 200 and couple hundred lives or whatever. But it's still like, it's not a lot, but when you like see like 800 people died in one day off of a virus, it's like, damn, like what do you, that's a lot. Like that's like a lot to think about. And then like seeing like how different states are operating. It's the Biden thing bothers me is because like to a certain degree, I get more angry with the black people on it because in the end, my question is like, what has pragmatism gotten us in the last 30 years?
Yeah, but I mean, we also have to frame what pragmatism is. Because like, I'm not sure pragmatism, right?
Well,
yeah.
But the pragmatism they use being pragmatic, this, that, and the third, I'm like, we've always gone for this option, the quote unquote lesser two evils, or the one over this versus that, and these niggas always betrayed us and put us in jail or made shit worse. Like any game we have had some type of regression of like at least double or threefold. Like we gotta get to the point where it's like we had a black president, but then we got to the point where we were seeing black people killed in the street like it was the era of like super Jim Crow lynching. Like,
yeah. Under his watch.
And he could do nothing. Like, he could do nothing about it. So when people bring up Biden, I'm like, this is one of the main people who locked up a generation of people. Like, Hillary deserves a lot of flack for what she said. But in terms of the law, this is the man that made the law. And so if we go back to quote unquote normalcy of like 2016, rents was going up, wages was stagnant, people didn't have health care, people were still getting sick, the cities were still becoming pushed out, becoming whiter, gentrification's getting worse. So basically, we go back to that, and now it's kind of like that, just with an asshole who doesn't act right in front of the cameras and who's blatant about the stuff with Mexicans and immigrants coming from south of our border versus y'all doing it undercover where we couldn't see it. Like,
I mean, there's a question of judges, and there's a question of like sort of, I mean, if we are to obey the law, you know, like I'm like, there's a question of judges. There's a question of environmental protection, right? Like, I think for me, like, those are the two things. It's like, if I'm thinking about, like, if I'm going to eat shit and vote for this asshole, you know what I mean? Like, those are the two questions that I would think of. And I also have to think, the third question I think of is like, if I'm not, then it's like, I have to go by the precept of what Malcolm said, you know what I mean? Brother Malcolm, you know?
Yeah.
Shabazz, you know what I mean? Which was like, it's the ballot or the bullet. Like, either you're gonna, and sometimes it's the ballot and the bullet. You know what I mean? Like, either you wanna like participate. Nah, actually, I'm not gonna put the onus on the people. Either they're gonna give you a choice and a way to affect your life and your world and your environment and your community and your family and like the welfare of it with, you know, the government, with the, you know, civics, or it's like ski mask way. You know what I mean? Like, it's really only those two options. And like, I feel like what they've done is they've taken away the non-ski mask way option.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're like handing you the ski mask. I personally think the ski mask should always be around for use.
The ski mask should always be under the bed. It's the bat suit.
Ski mask should always be there. Right?
That shit should always be there.
Yeah, it's an option.
You got the pole like Batman did. You slide down to the basement. The outfit, right. The outfit comes.
You know, night. You got your night moves. You know.
Yeah,
and that's all they understand.
Yeah, I just like, I don't believe in the EPA protections that much, and that he'll follow through. I think that Biden will probably do things for the LGBTQ community. And I think he would shore up pro-choice. But even like, there's local federal judges that are probably important. But when people bring up the SCOTUS, I'm like, bro, it's going to be 5-4. And Biden is 77 years old.
As long as we can see.
Like, all the motherfuckers on the Republican side is young.
Don't look like she, you know what I mean? RGB, she going to be around for the next 4 years? No, you know, like, knock on wood. You know what I mean? Whether she, you know, wants to or not, you know?
So Biden, he'll get in there and he'll replace two, maybe. but it'll be still 5-4 because I just don't see Clarence Thomas retiring. Like I think if there's a Democratic, if Biden wins, he's like, I could wait out 4 years if Biden could last 4 years himself.
Right.
Then
exactly.
it goes on who's going to be vice president, and that could be a major thing. Like, who do you pick? Was this the Elizabeth Warren gamble? You know what I'm saying? Is this what she talked about in the back room? Like, yo, you got 2 years left.
It's like, so these niggas, right? Like, so, okay. So let's talk about Bernie bros, right? So those niggas who, like, we talking about the niggas that's wild for Bernie, right? Like, they're acolytes and shit. And, like, I can't stand these niggas, right? Because, like, first of all, the ones that aren't bots are fucking
terrible,
dumb. They don't understand the strategy of shit, bro. Like, I think it's just they so used to being white, they never had to apologize for anything. They never had to be shrewd or any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, so fuck them niggas. However, I can feel how angry they must have been when Warren dropped out.
And she didn't say shit.
Didn't say shit. And then, like, what was it? Yesterday, she was like, oh, Bernie is this, that, and the third. I'm just like, yo, that's ice cold. How could you? Don't say nothing right now. Don't say nothing. Yo, that's Brutus giving the eulogy. You know what I mean?
Yo,
it's giving the eulogy, bro.
That's some Cersei Lannister shit. Yeah. That's like, I was like, whoo, like,
wow, you really gonna come out and say some shit?
Like,
this quick,
y'all cold blooded. Like, y'all cold blooded.
Cold. I know them Bernie. Their fucking whole head exploded, bro. Like, cause my head nearly exploded. I was like, wow, you really got something to say right now. Like, wow. And like, to be honest, the only reason why I think this nigga probably bowed out because it's like all of those motherfuckers was gonna go to vote.
Yo, he was texting the people, bro. Nobody was going to do it. Nobody was going to stop the voting. Nobody was going to push it back.
Chicken. He's the only motherfuckers with any type of fucking ethics. That's why. And like, if you have ethics, you lose in politics. Yeah. And I think this is maybe one of the best things about the legacy of Bernie. And like, he ends up becoming like his boy from what's his name? American Socialist Party. But anyway, he ends up leaving this legacy, which was he was not willing to sacrifice any aspect of his like personal ethic, right, for the game. He didn't bad talk. Like, I actually count it as a fault to him because like motherfuckers would say like, oh, he wouldn't talk bad about fucking Biden because like that's his homie. And he literally says every time, like he tries to form like a unified thing. Like he won't talk shit. He's like, oh, like let's do this. You know, like we can't fight in public. Like we gotta figure this shit out. It's like, bruh, nobody else playing by them rules, bro.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say it. Even, you know, like even Jesse Jackson, yo. Like, what if Jesse Jackson had come out before to support him?
Before whatchamacallit, Clyburn did that fuck shit? Yeah. But in a way, you know, it's like he was already beaten. Like Jesse sick, he was already beaten. It's almost like he already fought these battles and lost. And it's like when you sent me that podcast and I heard him talk, I was like, yo, there's a lot we don't know about Jesse. In them presidential runs.
My whole shit changed about him, bro. Like, so growing up in a conservative background and like, you know, conservative and also just a black background. So like in DC, like when niggas would talk about shit, like we had a weird relationship with politicians anyway, with Marion Barry, right? Like the whole, you know, bitch set me up shit. You know what I mean? Like we had a weird relationship. And I just mostly remember people clowning him off for like rhyming and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I never took him serious. Like niggas never talked about Jesse Jackson. Like we knew he was important, you know what I mean? But like niggas never talked about like the real reason why he was important. And the real reason why he was important is fucking massive. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
nigga, like fucking Obama, yo. Like if my history was up the way it is now, when I heard him say what he said about Obama, I would have started like researching Obama. I would have been like, okay, if this nigga don't fuck with Obama, like then is it some ego shit? Or like I should look shit up.
Because that's the way he sold it. That's the way they sold it, like it was some ego shit and he on some jealousy. And I still see niggas saying that. I'm like, nah, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah.
And like I heard like that whole shit with like the Pete and Amy Klobuchar dropping out with the cough with Biden and Obama. And sorry, people call that rumors. If they talking about this shit on CNN, MSNBC, this shit is fact. Yeah. And I also heard some shit happen too to like Bernie called Biden up to work this shit out. And then like Obama was on the call. And I'm like, there's gonna have to be a real public reckoning with like maybe even the people who are like our age, who were just young enough to be able to vote and feel hopeful, but also old enough to like be like to never believe we were going to see a black president while we were alive. But now that we're older, recognizing the bullshit that went on, like yo, maybe Cornel West was right. Maybe Yasin Bey was right. Maybe Lupe Fiasco was right when they went on to criticize him publicly. Like we kind of went on some like, you shouldn't talk it, like, and like, you know. But then it gets to a point. It was like, nah, Chief, that ain't it. Like, not now. You out and you won't say nothing. I don't care about your documentary movies. I don't care about your books. I don't care about your Spotify playlists. Like, I don't care about none of that shit. But if you secretly moving in ways that people can't get no health care, and people can't get no jobs, and you ain't doing shit about the gentrification that's happening even in your community, in your state, the state in which you was born, and the one in which you adopted, then I don't care, bro. Go raise your kids.
I can't rock with you. Yeah.
You live in the same neighborhood Bezos bought a house in the DC. I know that neighborhood. A number of rich people there. I can't afford there. And I do okay.
Yo, it's like you've seen that, right? You've seen that. We know what that is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's Jay-Z, bro. It's the same shit. There's a certain point where, like, when you saw Jay-Z with the NFL, some people had to have that reckoning in their mind. Yeah. Like, we was capped, though.
I mean, I already seen him at the stadium, bro. Like, I seen what he did. In and out. If he stayed with it, rock with it, was like, okay, yeah, like, this is my shit. Like, I'm going to try to make this shit work. It's like, nah, he got his bread and he
got out.
Bro, that's supposed to be your hood, bro. I thought.
Yeah. But it's the reckoning. People got to have these public reckonings.
It's crazy to think and like, and see Jesse Jackson and like, see how old he is, man. And like seeing all the shit that he went through. And it's just like, bro, like the wear and tear of it. It's just like, you know, do you cash out, right? You know what I mean? Like you get your whole pundit shit, get your bread, you know, like.
Al Sharpton.
Yeah, I gave it my shot. I shot my shot. You know what I mean? Like now let me eat and everything. It's like, can you cash out without fucking undermining that legacy too? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, like that's just, it just kills me so much to think about Jesse, and I think about like, man, how they fucking made him a clown, bro. Like, it erased his legacy. And like, yo, the whole shit with him and Obama, like, that was ill. It's like, I'm careful what I say, and I know it's probably gonna be white people that's listening to this, right? But I feel like if I'm around just black people, and like we talk about, oh, first black president, this, that, and the third, I'm like, and you know, if it's just me and you, I would say like, I argue. If black is a politic, I might argue about that. Now, if black is a spectacle, you know what I mean? Like, then, all right, as a spectacle, maybe so. If it's like how race is cast by the gaze of white people, certainly the first black president, right?
Yeah.
But if it's politics, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe I was right when I was, in Crown Heights and like sitting at my drawing table, not paying attention to the presidential election because I assumed that I would not see a black president in my lifetime. Maybe I was right. You know what I mean? Because it is a politic. And it's a politic, let's face it. And I think it's good that it's dying or it needs to evolve into something else, right?
Yeah.
Like the black politic needs to radically evolve, you know what I mean? Into something else, you know what I mean? Like something that while buttressing the work that we need to do regarding like our identity and like who we are and like our culture, right? At the same time, not being satisfied with it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, bro. Like a homie asked me about it online. I'll leave there, actually more than one homie asked me about it. It's like, yeah, so what you gonna do? And I don't know, man. I don't know. It just really depends on the day. I just feel like if I don't, I need to make a covenant with myself to be ready for the ski mask win. Because or regardless, but definitely the hours I don't spend deliberating and down ballot for sure, right? Down ballot for sure. Yeah. Make those moves.
But that one choice, that one thing at the top. Yeah. Hey man, I have the benefit of voting in a place that doesn't have a vote that counts.
Ain't that a bitch?
So I have a little bit more freedom about whether I can say fuck this shit or not.
Yeah.
Because it don't matter no way. Literally.
I didn't even get to vote in the primary.
Yeah.
Ain't that a bitch?
My shit is this. It's just like, as many Democrats I talk about this way, everyone chose like, yo, I don't want to hear y'all talking about who can and can't vote in the fall where you was willing to get half the people in the Democratic Party, half the country not have a choice in this matter. Because you ready to get it over with. Like, I don't want to hear none of that shit.
Yeah.
Whatever fuck shit happens now.
Yeah.
But hey, man, you might not have to go to Ski Mask Way. You might not have to go to Ski Mask Way. You might be able to go to, the soon to be created nation state of California. This shit might be like Gundam, and them niggas might be the colonies, and they might put a wall up, bro. You might be straight.
Let me tell you something. This battle has been happening since before we were United States, man.
Yeah.
We've been putting it off. We've been putting it off for 200 years. You know what I mean? We've been putting this shit off, bro.
Texas, we got to find out. Never wanted to be states to begin with.
Yeah. Certainly not together. Nope. Certainly not in the same. You know what I mean? So, bro, we about to see, and it's rumblings happening with the EU too. We'll see. It's crazy when I'm looking at the news coming out of the EU the last more than 2 years or so. But it's crazy how old school the news is. It's literally sort of the agricultural, southern area and fucking the money and fucking industry north.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still having a conversation.
Yeah. The same shit, bro.
Same shit. Ain't shit changed.
Niggas got iPhones and that's it. iPhones and VR helmets on PlayStation. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything's just the same, bro.
Yeah. What is it? Saul said, Colton is cotton. That nigga ain't lying, yo. Colton is cotton.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let's leave it on that. Yeah. Fucking brother Saul.
Let me let you get your fish dinner popping.
Oh my God, the air fryer, bro. Gonna change my whole life.
One day I'll get me one. You know what I'm saying?
fish, toss salad, and write a rap ballad. You know what I'm
saying? All right, man. Thanks for calling, yo.
All right, brother. I love you, man. Like, happy birthday.
Thanks.
40 more, man. Let's go.
Let's make it to 100.
Yeah, let's do it.
let's get to 2080. Get some spaceships. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, hell yeah. You know, I want to see what the Earth look like from the other side. You know what I'm
saying? I'm fitting to leave. I'll give you a robot body. I'll bounce. I'm out.
Oh, nice. Shit. Yo, we got to talk about Kimono Zume next time. It jumped the shark. I think it's got 6 solid episodes. I forgot. Actually, it don't land. It don't stick to landing. Like, there's one episode that's just, like, so garbage. But I still love the show.
Yeah. You came back with that 2000 shit. Quarantine anime.
Yo, bro, and now's the time to make it, too.
All right, man.
You know?
Peace.
All right, man. Peace. Be safe.